are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another session of Tales from Ellseworld, our second Tales from Ellseworld session. If you're not sure what Tales from Ellseworld is, you might not even know what Ellseworld is. If you don't know what Ellseworld is...
Where have you been?
Yeah, where have you been and why haven't you gotten lost at the Grove? You can check out all of Ellseworld. It is currently on YouTube right now, up to date to... the session that would have taken place just before this Tales from Ellseworld session. The other one will be going live later on this week, last session of Ellseworld. In any case, I will jump into a little bit of an Ellseworld recap, as well as just a little bit of a recap of the last Tales from Ellseworld session very shortly. But before I do that, we're going to do some nice player introductions. And as we've already met both these characters, we'll also do some character introductions. So if you'd like to introduce yourself and your character, starting with the person that's in the room with me, the friend to my right.
Hello, I'm the friend to the right. It is 7:52. The smell of bolter slag is in the air. I am Tom Robertson. I'm going to be playing Applebi Okewoode, the Earth Genasi Bard. He's a guy. He's made of soil. I'll leave it at that. Would you like to introduce yourself, camera fellow?
Hello, yes, I'm camera fellow, also known as Ferrets. For today's session, I thought I would pair our adventure with a lovely gluten-free, dairy-free, and meat-free pesto pasta. And alongside that, I'll have a from the finest orchards in Somerset, a Thatcher's Haze.
Ooh, lovely.
These are a combination of mellow flavors and textures to complement the exciting and enthralling adventure we will have today. I shall be playing Thrall, who is a fire genasi artificer with their own steampunk-ish armor that keeps stealing players from the middle of their adventures.
Very lovely introductions. Going back to the sessions and the recap, first of all, hi. Yep.
I've got Patreon votes.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Patreon votes.
Oh, yeah. We didn't do our plugs. We have a Patreon. Jamie's going to tell you a little bit about that and then tell you the results of some stuff from the Patreon.
Hello, it's me. I don't want to be on cam.
You don't want to be on cam? You can just be an ethereal voice. I'll lip sync for you.
We have a Patreon. You can find that Patreon down in the links below. Every time we play D&D, which is now more than once a week, supposedly, you'll get to vote on whether a player gets an advantage or disadvantage, and if a player gets a nat 20 or a crit fail. This week, Joe, Ferrets, you get yourself an advantage. Also, Ferrets,
Thank you. Oh, no.
you get yourself a crit fail. That's all from me. Have a great session, gang.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Jamie.
Jamie.
Other things you can get from the Patreon are a little Jams Can Draw sketch. If you don't know who they are, they're in our nifty, no, not nifty, Heroes Grove Important People document. But without further ado, we'll get into a recap. So, Ellseworld, what is it? As I said, it's all on YouTube. You can go check it out. It is a fantasy campaign that we have been running for a little while. It is still very low level. It's level 2 currently. Our heroes at present are in a dark and dank portion of the fabulous city known as the Golden Tooth, but they are in the Undermountain portion, the Undercity that lies beneath this wondrous golden city. Our player, the player on my right, Appleby, is with his band of adventurers at the moment in a tavern down in the Undermountain. But before we cut away back to Appleby, just going to talk a little bit about the last session of Tales from Ellseworld. As Joe said in his introduction, his character Thrall has once before now, and from what he seems to have said in last session, he seems to have been working with someone that has been sending him out to kidnap adventurers and take them on little excursions to aid his and his master's schemes and purposes. Last session, he picked up Appleby as Appleby was clearing up some bodies in the city of Rhea-Priz after a combat. And after picking Appleby up, Appleby, you learnt that Thrall was taking you on a quest to find a very rare gemstone, one of the stones of Ankelion. And the place you had to get it from was from a hag who was known as the Green Mother or the Eater of Faces. As you went there, you tried to find this hag. Turned out she had unfortunately passed away, but her son had taken the stone into possession and taken on her mantle as the Eater of Faces and wanted revenge upon a lover as he was spurned and his lover had taken a new family, and due to some magical shenanigans, he was unable to harm this person himself. So he sent you away to retrieve his face in exchange for the Stone of Ankelion, which you did. You found out actually this person was quite a horrible being, a orcish worshipper of a orcish god known as Yertrus, who was some kind of pestilence-based orcish minor deity. And after finding out about this and realizing you needed to get this face to get this stone, you very swiftly killed him after a brief combat where he actually downed Appleby. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You managed to get the entire head of Thrakfar Bloodbringer and return it to the Eater of Faces in exchange for the Stone of Ankelion, upon which you returned back to your friends, followed by some mysterious invisible eyes that seem to go with you through into the into Rhea-Priz, back where you'd come to meet back up with your party.
The Stone of... what was it?
The Stone of Ankelion.
Yes.
Yes.
And Appleby doesn't have that. That's with Thrall.
No, you have the skull. It was in the left-hand eye socket of the hag's skull. From what you gathered from the conversation with this person, they had been using it as a replacement for their eye for whatever reason. He had no use for the stone, so was exchanging it in place of his face. You got the skull, and
Thrall got the stone.
Thrall apparently got the stone because it wasn't in there when you ended up in Rhea-Priz with the skull on your person.
Okay.
So that now we're sort of up to date. I won't do a massive recap on the general Ellseworld plot because, as I said, you can find out all about that on YouTube, and also if you tune into next session of Ellseworld, I'll no doubt do a recap at the start of that does cover what has happened in Ellseworld. So we're going to jump right into it. Cutting into the Undermountain, beneath the grand city of the Golden Tooth. You're currently in a very blue place. Everything in here is blue. The couches all are blue leather as you sit in the Dragon's Head bar. Just shortly after your meeting with the Pale Master, the underling to the crime boss known as the Blue King. After this short meeting, you were on your way out of the bar as you were met by another gentleman who gave you some information sent from the Pale Master on 3 vigilantes he wished you to take down within the city that were pestering their organization, being no good do-gooders. After heading out of this bar through the electric wreathed door and back through the streets of the Undermountain, you got to a familiar avenue of streets that was leading up to Dr. Geraldo's place. As you notice, just a little bit of growth, more than you were expecting on the this new wooden clad foot of yours. I believe it's the left foot. It's all clad in this. I think it's
right.
Is it right foot? Oh, okay. You bend down to your wooden clad right foot, and you sort of just start inspecting it for a moment. And you notice as you kind of are doing this, the party just pulls a little bit ahead of you, and before you know it, just as you're bending down there, as you can see Dr. Geraldo's across the street and your party just turning around to see what was holding you up, you are enveloped once again in this dirty, muddy, brownish red, dark smoke that just clouds your vision. You once again see these runes light up around your feet, and being that this isn't the first time this has happened to you, you know once again you are being taken by Thrall. Speaking of, we cut back in time a little bit to the Doomspire Keep, a Gothic castle of immense proportions that is sat a jutting spear of rock that sticks up out of the ocean. This enormous Gothic castle with its many spires is home to many a creature, but we zoom in to one in particular at this moment. In his workshop / bedchamber, we cut into Thrall in the middle of whatever he would be doing in his downtime between missions, in his room. The mundanities of life in Doomspire Keep, keeping Thrall... Bloomspire? Keeping Thrall busy for now. What would Thrall be doing in his downtime?
I think Thrall would be at their workbench, which would have lots of different tools accessed on the walls, around to the sides, lots of different arms and clamps holding bits of metal and armor. They wouldn't be in their armor at that point. They would just be kind of in some quite somewhat nice but very plain clothes.
Yeah.
And they would be at that point with 3 magnifying glasses in front of them, working on and soldering a bit of their gauntlet at this point.
Cool. As you're just finishing up this last kind of little bit of soldering, just as you manage to connect up those 2 little bits of wire into the right place, just get that dab of solder right where you want it, you hear once again that familiar sound, this gusting of wind passing through your walls, even though you know no breeze can reach this deep into the keep, as you hear the familiar sound of Lunette, the ghostly assistant of your master, breeze in through the wall as she greets you with her familiar, "Hello, Thrall."
Thrall looks over, grabs their collar and wraps it around their neck, allows it to warm and boot up, and then turns to them and says, "Hello, Lunette. What do I owe you the pleasure?"
"It's time again, Thrall, I'm afraid. He wishes to see you."
Thrall rolls his shoulders a bit, removing stress, and says, "Okay, let me get suited up, and then I'll be right with you."
"Be as swift as you can. He is in somewhat of a rush."
Oh, shit. And then starts, putting everything on and clicking everything into place as quickly as possible.
Nice.
Luckily, a lot of it self-attaches, so...
Yeah. So as you armor up, get suited
it's like
up...
Iron Man.
You heading on out into the to the keep?
Yes, heading there as quickly as possible.
Cool, yeah. You do so as you tread through the familiar halls of Doomspire Keep once again, going through the portion of the keep that is tenanted to your master. You head through the kind of elaborate subchambers, hallways, horrors that are within this portion of Doomspire Keep, until you reach once again the enormous doors that lead into your master's main chamber, the Moonlight Bathing Chamber. You knock on the door?
Yes.
Rap on the door, and instantly, as soon as your first finger just touches the door, they open out into this wide space, and you see, rather than hovering and floating as the last time you saw him in this beam of pure moonlight, you see as Calthar is poring over a book, and at the same time you see a ethereal mage hand begin to clasp a cloak around his shoulders and begin to fasten a few other pieces of outerwear to Calthar's form, as you see in a kind of rare moment of him not looking 100%, not looking like the almost demigod-like being that you have seen him before. Here, he does appear quite human and mortal, as he is clearly rushing around, flicking through this book as this hand that he has summoned himself begins to dress him for going out. As you enter the room, he kind of whips around to you. "Ah, my dearest Thrall, come over here, please."
I It's like a weird, graceful approach, but somewhat also robotic. It's like everything's happening in one movement, but it's too good to be like human graceful. It's kind of robotic.
You see as you kind of get close to his desk here, again, in a rare sort of state of disarray, your master usually is quite a clean, minimalist type of person with not really wanting anything around. But here, the desk space that is usually clear, you see covered in drawings, documentation. You see a small scrawled, with your passive perception, you see a small scrawled note that says Dracopire on it, as well as in between some of these sheets of paper, you actually do notice the shining blue stone that you retrieved from last time, the stone of Ankelion, seemingly part of whatever this Byzantine set of research is heading towards. And as you get closer to this, he kind of like begins to stack a few of the papers up that you were looking at, especially the one that says Dracopire on it, into a sheath, folds it into a book, and kind of whips them into one of his cloak pockets. As you know, you have been ever so helpful with collecting some things that I need, and now I must call on that same service once more.
Well, anything for you, Master. What could it be this time?
Well, thanks to my acquisition, I have been able to peer and scry into matters most interesting to me. There is something I am creating, Thrall, and when I reach this apotheosis, I will be able to grant both of us exactly what we want. Wouldn't that be good?
That would be most desirable. I mean, more so to see you get what you want.
Very good. Well, what I need and what I want today is a Moonstone. A shard of the moon Zadkir, to be specific. I can tell you where it is. I can tell you how to get it. And, once more, I will tell you who you need with you to get it. As you see, as he once again produces this light blue gem from his cloak, the amplified transpositioning stone that he granted to you before, which you know has these pre-programmed sort of locations, people kind of coded into this magical stone that will allow you to transport yourself and others that have been allowed to transport with you to various locations across Ellseworld. The first, you will need the one you took last time.
Ah, shit.
Okewoode. Applebi Okewoode, yes. He proved most useful, and from what I could tell from your report, he didn't ask too many questions either. At least not ones that I would be remiss for him to ask. A useful tool.
Mm-hmm.
But there is also a second part in play here, once you have the stone. But I will go into that later. For now, all you need to know is the stone is being held in a church that was once dedicated to the god Selune in the town of Stonefell. This church was built around a portion of moon rock that fell to Ellseworld long ago, and ever since, a village has grown around this temple. This stone has been concealed for a long time by the powers of Selune, but recently an opportunity has arisen. Her great rival, the deity Shah, has somehow taken this place of high worship of Selune through their nefarious means, I'm sure of. But they have left the Moonstone visible to more curious eyes such as my own. This is where you come in. I must visit the Sanguine Order. So you must do this for me. Fetch me this Moonstone, and we will be one step closer to what we want.
Of course, anything.
I have here with me the means for you to bring it back. And you see as he hands you this piece of what appears to be fairly unassuming red chalk, draw a circle around the Moonstone. When the circle is complete with this chalk, a ritual will start. The magical the energies that I can provide will take the Moonstone from that place and bring it here to my laboratory. This will, however, take some time, and that is where I believe the second part of our plan will need to be put into effect. And at that point, as Kalthar puts his arm around you and reveals the second part of his plan to you, Thrall, we will cut back into the present as you are holding Applebi's shoulder once again as the two of you appear in a puff of smoke, this dirty brown smoke that is emanating from your armor, that is being enhanced by this transpositioning stone as the two of you pop back into reality together. Thrall, your hand on Appleby's shoulder, you both looking into the eyes of the other as you appear in what seems to be the outskirts of a small wooden village that lies just down at the bottom of the hill that you have appeared upon. You can just see overlooking this small village, seems quite quiet at the moment, and at one end of this village is this great circular church that, I say circular, it's more like a cylindrical church that seems to reach up into the sky much higher and much more finer built than anything else in this village. Everything else seems to be made of wood and seems to be of quite low quality. This church is made of very finely crafted stone and reaches up much higher in this big cylinder with this, from this height you can actually see that it has a glass roof at the top of this cylinder too, at the one end of this village, with this pretty fancy looking circular garden around the church that you can just about make out from this distance.
Do I know this city? Does Appleby know this city?
Give me a survival check at disadvantage. You've just ported.
Well, it was either a 20 or a 5, so it's a 5.
Cool. This is a town called Stonefell. You can just see that from here. There is a sign on this kind of like nearby path that says Stonefell. It's about just kind of a raggedy old sign, sort of like those coast path signs that you see, just saying Stonefell, just pointing down the hill to the direction of the village. But aside from that, you're not entirely sure.
I pull my hand off Appleby.
Why'd you do that?
Start rubbing it on my overcoat and say, "It's good to see you again, old friend Appleby."
What's the place called? Stonefell?
Stonefell.
Where's Stonefell?
Oh shit, do I know where Stonefell is?
Give me a survival check at just regular.
Just rego. That's a 6.
Cool. You think it's somewhere in the Golden Kingdom, but you're not quite sure where. For you, it wasn't important enough information to take in. You don't need to know where it is to complete your mission.
I mean, I'm not entirely sure. It's probably somewhere in the Golden Kingdom, but the fact that we're here and this is where we need to be is important enough, I'd say.
In future, I would like to be privy to the import of the information, and I would like to be able to choose whether it is important or not. But, and it's a big but, we're here now.
You will also, of course, remember after last time you did appear back into Ria Priz with 2 platinum pieces in your pocket.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I've been meaning to ask you, actually. After we last met, when I was returned, there were two beasties, two nasty big balls of eye that were invisible and followed me. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that?
What I'll say to you, Joe, here is whether you would like to disclose this information or not, you would know that from this description, this fits the bill of something that your master uses pretty frequently to spy on people. These floating eyes that he just calls his eyes, that he sends out into the world to spy on people, essentially.
Yes, that's what they were.
That is very correct. I am not privy to those, to what these are. In all honesty, my master may be them. I'm not too sure.
See, I was using the word privy not long ago. I know you're using the word privy, and it doesn't quite sound right in your mouth. Are you gonna roll deception if I roll insight?
Yeah.
Ooh. 15?
18.
Oh shit.
Appleby, you believe Thrall at this stage.
Okay. Well, just on the off chance that it is something perhaps to do with somebody's master, please, can we not have those this time? Oh, my fucking pop shield. I've knocked my pop shield down.
The technical assistant from the side, takes the boom pole away.
No, get the boom out.
I don't want a boom in my shot.
Have a Christian Bale-esque fucking meltdown.
I don't go around fucking up your shot, do I?
Right. So whose face are we eating this time?
I hope they would. I mean, I'm not really too bothered if we have any faces to eat or not. We're here to get another item for my master, really. And you can make a pretty penny out of it.
How pretty of a penny?
You see, Joe, as well, in the time that we faded to black, your master actually gave you another 3 platinum pieces to give to Appleby at the end of this.
They're in the gauntlet without my hands. Instead of my hands holding up 3, the gauntlet shoots up 3 platinum pieces. And I say, these will be yours once we have done this, and you can go back to your friends. It's somewhere quite dark you were at, it seemed like. But then we can forget this ever happened. Until we need you again.
Do we have? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Where's the thing? If you didn't know where we are, how can you expect to know where a what's it might be?
I was told that it is hidden under some church in which a village was built around,
That
and
looks like a church.
points over to the cylindrical thing. If that's not a church, then I don't know what is.
See, so it's hidden underneath it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And
You see, I was just underground not long ago. So what I'm saying is you've chosen the right guy. I've got experience.
yes. And my master thought he did pretty well last mission, so I feel like we'll take that.
How is old Facey? What's his name? The guy, that orc fella, worshipped a not very nice god. How's he doing?
I thought you had their skull.
Oh yeah, small skull. Had a gem in it.
That's the hag's head. The orc was who you decapitated and gave to the Eater of Faces.
Oh, yeah.
They ate his face and then turned into his face.
Something came up in my head.
For the life of me, the last thing I remember, his face, something about it. I just was curious how he's doing, but if you didn't know, you know.
Not great from what I last heard.
At this point, the both of you sort of like and now the conversation begins to wind down to recollecting kind of upon the past thing, and you turn towards the village and presumably begin to walk down this hill towards it. The both of you notice that it is gloomy here, and to a degree that doesn't seem entirely normal. And as you kind of look from this point of vantage overlooking this village, you see that this cloud is getting thicker around where the temple that Stonefell is built around is situated. You can see the darkest, blackest clouds are right above this cylindrical spire of what appears to be this church in the at the far end of Stonefell from where you are. You can see, even reaching out to the outskirts of the village here where you guys are, there is very thick, dark grey cloud obscuring all the sunlight. You cannot see the sun for as far as you can see the horizon here.
This climate suits me great. But it is unusual.
Is it always like that?
Sorry, what's both of your passive perceptions?
15.
And yours is 11. Cool. And your AC, sorry?
12.
18.
Cool.
Mr. Armorer, baby.
Thrall, you also begin to get the distinct notion that it's a little bit too quiet down in the village from on up high. In the 5 or so minutes that you guys have been kind of on the hill and starting to make progress down towards there, you haven't seen a single person walk in or out of a building, including the church at the one end. The only thing you can see is what appears to be 2 figures standing dead still in these dark clothes at either side of what appears to be the main door into this cylindrical church.
Have you noticed there's a distinct lack of busyness?
I hadn't noticed, but I'll keep an eye out for a lack of busyness.
You can both give me a perception check at this stage as you are walking down to the village, if you like. Let's see, this is pointed out.
Poor display from Applebi. 4.
My passive was great. My active was a crit fail.
Active was a crit fail, rough.
Both of us just are so distracted.
I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm looking at the busyness. I'm trying to find a person and leave it. I'm looking at one door waiting for someone to come in or out.
Was it... do you have a crit fail that I can use on you as well, Joe?
I do have a crit fail.
Okay, cool.
Well.
I will bear that in mind. Thrall, you are just so focused on these 2 figures outside the church, being that you know the church is your target, that you cannot kind of get a good bead on the rest of the village, and you're kind of like, you laser in on those 2 guys. Applebi, it's less about that. It's more you're just having a nice skip down the hill. Yeah. You're not really too bothered.
A change of scenery is nice.
Bit of merriment to be had. You see as the hat on your head begins to has grown a little bit more since the last time we saw you as well. What kind of stage would you say it's at now?
I think we already had the 3 prongs.
The 3 leaves kind of started to come out. Yeah.
So the ends of these. They produced berries.
They produced berries, right?
Golden berries.
Okay.
The golden berries have started to get slightly bigger and more metallic looking, and as a result, the leaves that were pretty much just straight have started sagging and are clearly getting much heavier. It's almost looking just like a plant version of his regular hat now.
Cool.
Basically. Not quite so big as it previously was.
You're kind of like tingling a few of the bells, which, interesting in itself, and skipping along down the, or however you'd like to walk down the hill, followed closely by Thrall, who you see has this kind of laser-like focus on these two figures that have been pointed out at the churchway's door.
You know those like old-timey cartoon reels where it would be like just a rotating like
background.
Yeah. Rotating background with like an animated walk that changes every so often.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
That's you guys walking down this hill. As you get closer and closer to the village, you do begin to see a few things. You get within kind of 150 feet. You can really see the true signs of desertation here. There appears to have been some kind of struggle taken place in the village too, as you see carts hastily abandoned, supplies pulled and strewn across the road, straw and hay bales just scattered everywhere, a few chickens kind of strut around the village, seemingly free from their pens or their masters. You see actually what appears to be the brown stains of old blood in a few spots around as well. No bodies as far as you can see coming into this village, but you do also see some of the buildings have definite signs of kind of battle, and a few have kind of boarded up windows, boarded up doors. There are planks missing off of things. It looks like a few have been forcibly broken in or out of, as well as you kind of reach the road, the crossroads, shall we say, before you would get into the kind of high street of the village. As you're looking down this street, seeing desolation before you and to the left and right, with this church at the far end of the village.
Was it Selune?
The god of this church was Selune originally,
Selune,
and the name of the town is Stonefell. And from what your master told you, cultists from the rival god Shah have taken over this church.
I think Selune is from Dota. Or is that? No, that's Salamania. I don't know. Anyway, well, we just need to get underneath the church at this point.
I mean, maybe no people at home will just make that easier.
I mean, I think there are people around.
Hello?
Oh, do that?
Yeah.
Okay. You,
Sorry, Joe.
No, it's good character.
Cool. A few moments pass after you say this hello. And thanks to this pretty good roll, Appleby, you feel as a small pebble actually just hits the side of you.
Oh?
Seemingly it came from one of the buildings sort of to the right-hand side of you.
What happened?
Someone from that building over there threw a stone at me.
Just give me a perception check, see if you can see anything over in that direction.
Me as well?
Yeah, you both can, yeah.
18. Let's go beat the shit out of
18.
him. Sorry, Joe, what did you get?
18.
Oh, me too.
You both got 18.
Yeah. Oh, twinsies.
Both of you kind of look over towards this building, and sure enough, peering out through what appears to be a boarded up window, you see a pair of eyes just quickly, as you both look round, sort of gesture to the both of you, like you see the kind of the universal hand signal of come the fuck over here quickly.
I think they want us to go away.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I start walking.
I walk over. If they fuck us over, I'm going to kill them first.
You start walking over. Cool. Sweet. As you do both start walking over, both of you begin to hear this kind of rustling sound, as if leaves and the straw on the detritus of the road is being sort of picked up behind you. As you both turn around and look for the source of the sound, you turn and you see nothing but the shadows of this town, and you kind of peer into the gloom that is being caused by these dark clouds over to you, and you don't quite see anything, but you keep moving on towards this house where you've been gestured towards. As you kind of reach the boarded up door, you hear as a few kind of locks and things kind of unclip from the one side, and the boards actually are just an illusion as the door swings open, and you see as a quite slight-looking halfling figure greets you at the door. They're obviously quite short, using their mage hand to actually open and close this here, as they kind of gesture the both of you to get inside very quickly. As you do, I assume both coming inside, following?
Yeah, I'll go in.
Cool. As you do, she closes the door quickly behind you as she kind of like is tiptoeing around this place. As you get inside this room, you see the destroyed remains of someone's living room. You see kind of things hastily thrown over, either in an attempt to pack up and get out of town as quickly as possible, or possibly in some kind of fight that took place here. As you look down towards this diminutive halfling, feminine-looking figure, she kind of, "Who the hell are you?"
Well, I am. Oh God, I didn't have one off the cuff ready to go. I was, I was underneath a golden tooth not long ago. I am fanciful merryman, haver of fun, and generally well known for laugh. Appleby Okewoode, and this is generally quite rude. Appears at random times. Thrall. Have you got a surname?
Thrall cocks an eyebrow at Appleby.
Right. What are you doing here?
I look to Thrall for that one. I do the intros, pal.
Do you know what's happened here?
I know what's happened here.
Are you here to save us?
I mean, maybe, but partly, I want to get what's underneath. I want to see what's underneath the dirt.
You're here for you want to see the Moonstone?
Yes, I'd love to see the Moonstone. Absolutely. I'm a huge fan of the Moonstone.
Well, that's what I want too. I was hoping to be a cleric of Selune one day. I was just a few years away from starting my training, but then the Sharans attacked. The
other clerics.
You know of the Sharans?
I know that they worship Shard.
That's all you really need to know. They hate us Selune worshippers with an ungodly passion. Their means and tricks are inconceivable to good people like us. They infiltrated the Church of Selune. They came to us pretending to be faithful of Selune. They brought with them new beliefs. They called themselves the Order of the Dark Moon, and we believed them. We just thought they were Selunites from another temple, another church, and they gained power, and through that power they corrupted the church completely, and now they hold sway here. They've taken the town by force, slowly killing anyone or getting rid of anyone who had the power to stop them, who worshipped Selune or even just disagreed with them.
Why did they want the church in the first place? Is it just petty religious rivalry?
I don't think they see it as petty. I think this is their life's goal, is destroying the works of Selune.
Yes, I'd turn over to Appleby. Yes,
I can hear you.
I think
yes.
this is a bit out of our league. This is like a whole town.
Look, we can. I whisper it loud enough for them to hear.
Okay.
It's like, look, we need to help them in order to, get to the Moonstone and worship it. Thrall is absolutely hating lying, but
Yeah. Okay.
Just give me a deception check at advantage here.
Thank you for the advantage. That's a non-natural 20.
Nice.
Like winking at Appleby.
As you kind of say this to Appleby, she kind of like, so you're here to save the Moonstone?
Oh, I turned around, surprise. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean for you to hear that. I mean,
Save it
yes.
all for ourselves, if you know what I mean.
I don't know what you mean.
As in for Selenites.
To worship.
For Selune. All for ourselves, as in the royal we.
Great. Well, I can help you. I and others loyal to Selune, there are still a few of us in the town.
Oh, there's a few of you. Oh, fantastic. We need to know how to get... Well, what I was thinking is if me and Appleby can get to the bottom first and we can attack from behind, if you can slay some kind of distraction, but that depends if there's another way to get to the stone that they may not be aware of.
I only know of, like I said, I wasn't inducted into the church at all. I was just, someone who's wanted to join up. You do see as this halfling appears quite young, just sort of pre-20s probably, but at the older end of teenage years. Are
they not at all freaked out by like us in general? We're like pretty weird.
I mean, I guess my character would be wearing like an overcloak to cover most of the armor and his head.
You certainly see as she was very wide-eyed when she first saw you, but you can also tell this person has been through a lot recently and sort of will grasp onto anything that might be a way out of the situation.
Makes sense.
Me and the others could certainly provide a distraction. That's not an issue at all. I actually have some things I might be able to help you as well. As you've probably noticed, our weather is quite inclement here at the moment. I think that's something to do with what they're doing in the temple. They're making it darker every day. The clouds get darker, and I think they're doing something to the Moonstone.
Oh, that's not good. Not good for you, not good for me.
It's not good for
or
anyone.
for us, I guess.
One other thing you should be aware of, there's something else in the village they brought with them.
Mm-hmm.
A horror from wherever these Sharites are from. It's a living, not breathing actually, it's just a living manifestation of the darkness itself. It comes for the unfaithful. Oh, well, I say that. It comes for the unfaithful of Shar.
Okay. But we'll definitely be the ones it looks for, right?
If you're in the town, it tries to find you.
Well,
if you can get past that, if you can kill the darkness, we can distract the two guys at the doors, and then all you have to deal with is whatever's inside the temple. There was a leader they had, the leader of the Dark Moon Order, Gerhard, a priest of Shar, I can only assume, posing as a priest of Selune to begin with. He's in there.
These damn liars.
He's in there somewhere, and he's a big fellow. I think he might have been a paladin once. Maybe he still is.
Interesting. Let me chat with my associate here for a second.
Okay.
yeah, okay.
You see as she kind of pulls out a sending stone and goes into one corner of the room and starts whispering into it.
Okay, well, I wasn't expecting a shadow thing. But, I mean, we dealt with worse.
Oddly enough, the last thing you fought together was a shadow cat.
Oh, yeah.
Funnily, I didn't actually even put that together until right now.
Oh, yeah.
Well, actually, technically the last thing you fought was an orc, but the first thing you fought together was a shadow cat.
That's true.
It's true.
I mean, we
I'm
dealt
ever so
with.
slightly concerned about the living darkness. I don't want to.
Just a wee bit concerned about that.
Just a wee bit worried about them.
I have a slight. I'd like to raise a slight concern about the living darkness.
I won't lie. I've
Could
got
make
my-
it
A manifestation
complaint.
of nightmares and darkness.
Yeah, I went to work the other day and there was actually the living manifestation of darkness. I don't think I can really work in these conditions.
I've contacted HR.
It's a weird job being an adventurer, eh?
Yeah. I mean,
1 minute you're under the mountain tying up your shoelaces, the next you're in Stonefell helping out a not evil person.
Definitely not evil.
No.
This is so evil. Like,
Sharan clerics are evil. I would like to point that out.
Yeah.
Shar is an evil deity. You would both know that, despite the secretive nature of sort of Shar and their order.
but we're not working with Shah, are we?
You're working against Shar. You're taking Shar rights away from a temple of Selune, a good god.
We're not taking them away from it, though. We're stealing the land.
Dealing with the Declaration of Independence.
Well, you're saving the church, just not what's inside it necessarily, depending on how this goes, of course.
Yeah, Thrall, I'm a little bit worried about this.
What, you, Appleby?
What, me, Appleby? Yes, me, Appleby.
Not something I'd expect from you.
How? Okay, well, now that you've given me that pep talk, I'm feeling fine.
You see as Lina begins to come out of the kind of corner of the room. I've spoken to my fellow villagers, the ones that are still remaining. We're ready if you need a distraction, and if you signal to us that the shadow is gone, we'll make your distraction.
Cool. So, how fast is the shadow? Will we get out there and it'll be like, straight away? Is it like breathing on your neck as soon as you get out of the house?
It hunts in the dark. You can't see it until it's too late.
Yes.
But you're adventurers, right?
Thrall, this isn't helping.
You're adventurers, right?
That's true, yeah. Well, I mean, I prefer performer, travelling merryman, causer of mischief, but adventurer, I suppose, works as well.
Oh, hang on, I haven't. She doesn't know who you are.
She hasn't heard of me.
She doesn't know who Appleby is.
I've not done a tour.
Has anyone on the Sending Stone heard of Appleby?
Hey, phone your friends, the ones who are left in the village. Have they heard of...
No, none of them have heard of Appleby either.
In some places, I'm quite...
I mean, I've seen it. You had one fan at the last place we were at.
Perhaps when the town is free, you can do a performance here.
No.
Why not? It might be a nice celebration. Bring the people back together.
We do have
quite a similar accent.
Yeah, that was kind of way I was wondering if you'd... Is your surname Okewood? Have you ever been past Pondroth?
No.
No? Well, you sound like everyone there.
Right. Well, are you going to go kill that shadow then?
Oh, yeah! Should we give that a go, Thrall? And then maybe later we could try and get into the church.
Yeah, no, that is exactly what I was thinking. So let's go on to that.
Yeah.
I'm sure the shadow will find you. As she kind of looks to both of you as
That's very inspiring, little one. That's very inspiring.
Is that positive?
I was just saying you won't need to, do anything to.
Okay. Your inflection on that was a bit more threatening than maybe it needs to be.
I was just
I think when you do say that, it's like, don't worry, it'll find you. Whereas I think when you said it's like, it will find you.
But it's not. No, you should worry. It's gonna try and kill you.
The shadow will find you. Fuck off.
It's
Applebi's walking out.
cool. As you head out into the streets and you hear the door quickly close behind you, you do once again feel similarly to how you were in the woods all those days ago with Thrall once before when you were being stalked by that shadow cat. You again feel like there are dark eyes upon you. You can't quite see anything obvious right now, but after being told that there is this literal darkness that kills, your eyes are drawn to every patch of shadow, every dark area. But in this gloom that is being provided by the church, and even in the time that you were inside, you can notice that it's gotten a bit gloomier out here. You find these shadows everywhere. If the two of you would just like to give me you can give me either a perception or investigation check to see if you can find any clues that would lead to the location of this living darkness. Or alternatively, you can do nothing and just let it find you.
I do have dark vision.
You do have dark vision. That will certainly be helping here. It will sort of negate some of the effects that the gloom is having, certainly.
So I'll do that with an investigation.
Cool.
Just to have a look around and like really looking into each of the shadows and trying to find any shapes that don't really align with how light's bouncing, I guess.
Cool. Yeah, nice.
Oh shit, that's distinctly average. That's a 10.
That's a 10. You do notice from your investigation that despite most of the village being gone here, while there are a few patches of blood, there is not a lot of blood. But you do see a lot of marks that seem like people have been dragged away, and a lot of them lead towards the temple of Selune.
Okay, I think the darkness is probably emanating from the temple.
Yeah. Yeah. She said that the darkness would find us.
I mean, right? Yes, we can wait here if needs be.
I mean, we can go to we can sort of. Shall we just sort of walk over to the temple, and if nothing stops us on our way there, we're already there.
We could just say we killed it and then just go in anyway.
Oh yeah, we could be like, hey, don't worry, we've killed the darkness, and then all those people will run out and be killed.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I love it.
God, no, maybe we shouldn't do that.
So as you're having this conversation, as you're kind of looking around the streets of Stonefell, Thrall and Appleby, with your passive perceptions and with one atrocious roll from this creature, the both of you, actually, as you're looking out towards the temple and having a good look around the city, the town here, you see under the kind of awning of one of these wooden buildings, a shadow begins to stir and move in a way that doesn't entirely look natural. As Thrall, you were specifically looking out for this kind of thing. You notice immediately here that this thing begins to move in a way that what little light there is should not allow it. Your dark vision cutting through the haze here as you point Appleby towards it. The both of you see as this shadow kind of drops down from this awning, noticing that it has been noticing and dropping its attempts at hiding. You see as it forms up out of the ground as this blob of darkness hits the floor into this vaguely humanoid shape, but with no arms or visible legs of any kind. It's almost like a person completely drenched head to toe in a very long, dark, almost liquid robe that is covering their entire form as this humanoid shadow rises up before you. And if you could both roll for initiative as you see this thing about 30 feet away from you down the street here. Your view is slightly obscured from the church, so the people guarding the door won't be able to see you here, but you do see as, this shadow appears about 30 feet away from you, dropping down from this awning with its stealth roll of a crit fail.
Sure.
Yes.
Dumbass.
Cool. What's your dex bonus?
Mine, plus 2.
Plus 2. Can you roll again for me?
Yeah, man. Oh, it was a 6.
6? Cool, you'll be going before this thing.
No.
Yeah, they rolled 4 on the reroll.
I rolled a natural 4, but I added my dex.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
wow.
They actually got the exact same again then. I rolled a 4-2 and they add their dex to 6, so roll again.
I rolled a 7.
You rolled a 7?
Adding to 9.
Yeah, they rolled a 6, adding to 8.
Oh my god.
Oh.
What did you
slightly, a millisecond.
What did you get, Joe?
11.
You got 11. Cool. Sweet. So up first, getting the draw on this shadow, Applebi Okewoode. You see it before you. It's currently 30 feet away from you, gloomily and ominously looking at you. You can't, much like yourself, you don't see any eyes, but merely the absence of eyes in its skull-like visage, which gets clearer and clearer, almost like the cloth that is covering it, if you could call it a cloth, is being pulled tauter around this form as it coalesces.
I think
you see this thing before you, 30 feet away.
I've used all my bardic inspiration.
We'll say you've reset here for the purposes of this, because you've not really had a chance to rest or anything.
I see this creature, this shadowy guy. And I will just sort of elaborately extend out in a much more graceful way than I just did. Applebi's a very graceful creature. Extend out a hand and say, "Take this, you shadowy fuck," and I'm just gonna dissonantly whisper into this shadow creature's.
Cool. What kind of damage does this do?
Psychic?
Psychic. Nice. I think that's just going to go straight through. No resistances there. So what does it need to make you? Wisdom save.
1 sec. Yes, wisdom saving throw.
Cool. Wisdom saving throw from the shadow. That is going to be. That's a 16.
What's my freaking? It saves.
Yeah. It saves. Does it take half?
On a failed save, if on a successful save, half as much damage.
Cool.
Thank goodness. I just rolled an nat 20 by accident.
No.
That's upsetting. 9 halved to 5, unfortunately.
5 damage. Cool. Nice. You see as this kind of like psychic energy emanates out from your extended arm, and you see as almost like when you blow a sort of like when you blow into smoke and like part of it kind of blows away from the kind of power of your breath. It's almost like that with your words. You've kind of almost blown part of this shadow away as you see this chunk of it has been forcibly pushed out from its form. Damn. Up next.
Gross. Bardically inspire Thrall. I'll ring a little.
Nice.
That's a Witcher music?
It wasn't intentionally, but
It did sound a bit witchery.
it is now.
So yeah, you have been bardically inspired there, Thrall.
It's a D6 you can use, John.
Any movement or bonus? No, that's your bonus. Any
That
movement?
was my bonus movement.
You're 30 feet away from it right now.
No.
No?
I'll
Cool.
just sort of skip on the spot.
Up next is the shadow. He's going to just come towards you in this gust of necrotic wind. And this shadow is going to make its attack against you, Appleby, being that you just hit it with your nasty words about it. It was very rude. You see as this thing comes towards you and just puts its hands on your shoulders, almost around your neck, but not quite, as you feel some of this shadowy energy begin to drain you as it makes an attack, which is going to be a hit here with a 19 to hit.
Oof.
And that's going to deal you 9 necrotic damage.
Oh, shit.
And your strength score is reduced by 3.
No.
Oh shit.
How permanently?
You'll have to find out, I guess. As you feel this life force just leave you from this, the touch of this shadow. What you don't notice in this moment going on is the other shadow that did successfully make its stealth check comes up behind you, Thrall, and also does this same attack to you. You feel and see as these shadowy fingers grasp on the back of your shoulders, and it makes attack advantage, but absolutely fluffs it with it was a 3 and a 2 advantage.
Say that.
So it doesn't hit with a 8. As you feel these shadowy hands on you, you just shake it off, and like part of your armor, like senses, just detects this before it can even go off, and you are around looking at this shadow as we come to your turn, Thrall.
And I add some flavor to that.
Yes, absolutely.
Basically, as it grabs, the like cloak flies off, and it like it's like anime style cloak flying
It just
off.
pulls your cloak off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's just like me, and you just hear like a whoop as the right hand power gauntlet like charges up. You see
Nice.
the like the coils stretch over the hands as I turn around and just fucking smash.
Nice.
Trying to smash it in the face.
Cool.
That's a 24 to hit.
24 to hit. That very hits.
Very hits. So that is
Did you say 24?
24.
Yes, that very, very hits.
That's 13 damage.
13 damage? How do you kill this
damage.
shadow?
I just as it through it grabs the cloak, and then it can't even see me through the cloak, and then I just punch through.
Nice.
And hit it in the face, and it just goes, the thunder it goes through at this creature and just loads it.
Nice. Yeah, you see as Appleby is getting his life sucked out of him, this thing tears your cloak off, is still holding it in its hands as you spin, punching it out of existence as it crackles out with the lightning damage dealt by your gauntlet, just cracking it back to where the hellhole that it came from. As we... anything else in your turn? Bonus action?
I'm going to move right to the other shadow.
Cool. That's just about a 5-foot move there up to Appleby's side.
And I guess all I can really do is just straight punch.
Just go for you kind of go with your offhand punch.
And it's just strength to attack, isn't it?
Just, it's a regular attack roll, but you won't add any modifiers to the damage.
Okay. So it's 17.
17, that hits again.
And then it's just 1 plus strength.
1 plus strength to damage, yep.
That's 1.
1 damage, cool.
Just the weight of it just hits in rather than anything else.
Nice, yeah. The coils aren't quite recharged as you go in for this second punch, and you just hear the kind of... you don't hear anything, actually. It's a shadow. What am I talking about? You kind of just put your fist through it, and yeah, you hit the kind of wall behind it, but you do see that it has done some damage here. As we return to the top, Appleby, you're on deck. This shadow has its hands on your clasped to your shoulders. If you're not grappled, because it's a shadow, it can't do that, really. But yeah, it's got you.
Okay.
It's got you. What you gonna do?
It's gotcha.
Oh, sorry. And with that 1 damage, it is now bloodied. You see as this like drooping, shadowy like energy begins to spill out of this creature as it's struggling to hold its form coherent.
Damn.
Kick it in the nuts.
Give it the blood axe special.
Oh. I don't think that'll do anything good. All that. Sorry, I'm just trying to.
It's all good. No worries.
Um.
Shadow, you're on deck.
Just dying.
I don't know. I'm just going to brush its hands off me and go. I said, "Take this, you shadowy fuck."
Nice.
Consciously mock it.
Nice.
Instead.
Wisdom save again?
Yeah.
That's just going to be a 13.
That unfortunately meets it and beats.
Meets it? No. Is it half damage?
It's only a D4. No.
Not even half damage.
Damn.
Unfortunate.
Yikes.
That is a bit of a Yikers Island.
Bonus action.
Yep.
Spit at it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to make an attack, or are you just going to literally just spit at it?
Literally just going to spit.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to attach any kind of check to this? Is this an intimidation tactic?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay,
with that.
roll me intimidation at disadvantage.
14.
Cool. This thing's immune to being frightened, so it doesn't feel any effects from that.
You ass.
Well, I read it after I said make the intimidation check, so who's really in the wrong here for not reading the stat block?
You still.
This chuckle fuck. Up next is going to be the Shadow. He is going to attempt his strength drain upon you again.
No!
Ooh.
Drain my strength, please.
That may not be a hit on that one, though. That's a 7, add 4. That just misses.
Yeah.
Just misses with an 11, you lucky little clown, as you kind of like just manage to like, you kind of brush the kind of hands off your shoulders and get out of its clasp. You're still engaged in combat with it, but it's certainly not managed to latch onto you again. Cool. That's the Shadow's turn. No, it's not actually.
And just for anyone in chat or on YouTube who's curious, Applebi's spit is just regular old spit, not even dirty.
Not even dirty.
It's just spit.
Cool.
Has it even got enzymes in? Or is it just like water?
It's just spit.
At the end of the Shadow's turn, you see as the one Shadow that has been disillusioned by the energy from Kosef's gauntlet, you see this kind of pool of darkness that was left behind on the floor after it begins to slither towards another patch of shadow. And then you see that patch of shadow begins to slither towards another patch and another patch and another patch. And this just keeps happening in the background of the fight. As we go back to Thrall's turn, as there is still a shadow on you and Appleby.
That's not so sick, Mr. Stark.
I also realized that I was using lightning and electricity, but it's actually thunder. So I guess it's just like noise or waves or whatever for the gauntlet. But it charges up again, and I'm going to make an attack roll on the shadow.
Cool.
That's 14 to
14
hit.
hits.
Nice. And that's 7 thunder.
Cool. Once again, you just absolutely annihilate this thing with your fist. As you do so,
Imagine it's like a sound wave almost of just like the thunder sound.
yeah, it just sort of like blows this shadow out of existence. You also see at that point, as hearing this sound and presuming it to be the signal, as these beams of what appear to be pure moonlight begin almost like the kind of things you see at like movie premieres, like spotlights begin kind of waving in the distance on one of the nearby hills as you see a group of individuals holding these glowing stones in their hands in the distance on one of the nearby hills, sort of near where you originally came into the village, but sort of off to one side, as you see a distraction being made. And sure enough, the two chaps you see as they run kind of again past your periphery, not really noticing this fight going on as they're being distracted by this dazzling moonlight off to one side as the distraction begins, as the two guards at the front of the temple run off to one side. Another thing you notice here is as this second shadow is destroyed, again, its form pools on the ground and then begins to bounce across shadows. And eventually the two forms of the shadow that have been coalescing all the various shadows in town, you see now as it's actually looking a lot brighter, as many of the shadows here have been taken and formed into this kind of amorphous blob of shadow. You see forming in the center of a town another form, a larger shadowy form begins to coalesce there. And it begins to wail. And this is a screeching, piercing, almost song-like wail that you both hear as this shadow begins to coalesce in the middle, almost a dark mirror of some kind of bard, as you feel this energy try and worm its way into your head and distract you as this greater shadow forms in the center of the street here, made up of the darkness of Shah that is pervading this town. We're going to keep it in the same initiative order, which means Thrall just went, so Appleby, you're on deck. You've seen this shadow just coalesce and begin to wail in this almost dark parody of your own craft in the center of this town.
Okay. How far away is this larger shadow?
This is now about 20 feet away from you, off to kind of more in the center of the street. You were sort of off to one side of the street for the previous bit of this fight.
Thrall, I'm thinking we run down a different street and try to get to the castle or the church. What do you see?
I mean, sure, why not? Yeah, you sure you don't want to fight this?
I mean, it's it's great. I don't know. And
we can go.
I will try to cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter on it.
Cool.
Appleby's not sure that it's going to work, so he's like sort of focusing really hard on it, just making sure that he feels the spell as it's cast.
Cool.
And shoots it out. It's a wisdom save.
It's a wisdom save. Nice.
How wise are these shadows?
It got a natural 20 on its wisdom
No.
saving throw.
Oh,
Right. Appleby's just going to go, yep, well.
Is it a save or suck?
It's a save or suck. Unfortunately, a lot of Appleby's are. Never mind. I'll just sort of look over to Thrall like, I'm out of ideas, and start running down a street that looks like it might lead towards the church.
Cool, yeah, it's fairly obvious. You could probably head down this main street and get there. You won't have any real concealment or anything like that, but that would be the quickest way to get there. Yeah. It's probably about 100 feet away from you at this stage.
Cool. Dash it. Well, I can't dash, right?
Can't dash, move 30 feet?
Yeah.
Cool. Up next is the shadow. Thrall, you see as the shadow kind of looks between you and Appleby, and then sort of it merges with another nearby shadow, pops out of a shadow that is just behind you about 5 feet, and grabs onto your shoulders, much like it did with Appleby and much like the other shadow tried to do, and is going to attempt its own version of the strength drain upon you. Ooh, I think that's going to be a miss again. That's a 12 to hit you, which I think misses with your AC of 18. Yeah, so this greater shadow teleports through the darkness, coming to grasp at you, but once again, your armor seemingly proof against these dark forces, potentially due to where it was crafted, which brings us back to you, Thrall. Appleby, you're on deck.
Yeah, seeing Appleby run.
You still hear, sorry as well, both of you still hear this shrill, piercing shadow song in your head, this very distracting noise.
Yeah, I think Thrall will just not. We'll probably be a bit too distracted in just thinking about hitting and attacking, and so we'll just again Thunder Gauntlets charge up and just again try and smack this larger shadow.
Cool.
That's was it advantage I got on one of that I got given?
You got an advantage and a crit fail, yes.
Yes, because I just got a crit fail, so I'm going to do an advantage.
Cool.
I'm going to use my advantage. Thank you, Patreon.
Thanks, Patreon.
Thanks, Patreon.
That's so good. That's so much better. That's 26.
Cool. It's not going to matter for this roll because you rolled really high, but because of this scream that's going on, you're going to be minusing a d4 from all your ability and attack rolls while you can hear it. So that would be -3 down to 23. Not going to matter because that's still a hit.
Okay, and then I am going to... Bardic Inspiration isn't for damage. You're not that.
No, it's not. Not that kind of bard.
No, not that kind of bard. Okay.
Not
that's
that kind of
fuck
bard.
That's 6 damage.
Juggling kind. 6 damage to the Greater Shadow. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
The Greater Shadow.
Anything else with your turn?
Then I'm just going to run and take the attack opportunity.
Run and take the attack of opportunity. Cool. It gets a nat 20 on its attack.
Oh my
Fuck.
God.
That's the second nat 20 to roll on two. That is on 2 separate dice as well.
Oh my God.
Cool.
Rigged. Never playing with Heroes Grove again.
Cool. So that's going to be 18 damage to you.
Oh, that's a big hit.
And your strength is reduced by 5. Not +5. It's your strength score is reduced by 5.
Yeah. So fucking hell, yeah. So,
That's not
no,
good.
I shouldn't do any hopefully don't do any strength modifiers anytime soon.
Brings us back to the top. So you're moving the 30 feet to follow Appleby, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Brings back to the top. Appleby, you're up. Shadow is on deck.
Well, I'll take an extra 5 feet as well because I've got 35 feet of speed. So.
Oh, cool. Nice. So yeah, you've just seen as Thrall just like steams ahead of you in their armor, taking this like big draining hit as they go.
Damn. Speedy boy. I'm just gonna main action dash. Let's go. Let's freaking
Main action dash.
make
Nice.
it to the castle, the church.
Cool. That will get you about. So you move 30 feet, then you'll move a further 60 feet. So you'll be about 10 foot away from the door of the church here.
Ooh, sweet.
You do see as these 2 guards that were here before seem to have run off into the hills to search for this source of distraction, which you can actually still see these beams of moonlight in the distance. What you do see is as a few of the beams seem to have gone out now.
Cool.
Actually, I won't say anything so as to...
You're currently also 60 feet ahead of Thrall.
yeah, I won't say anything then. I'll just fucking belt through.
Cool. Anything else with your bonus action?
From where I am...
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
all good.
From where I am, can I see the door of the church?
Yeah.
Entrance of the church?
Yes.
What's the deal? Popping.
Small stone door, just built into the very smooth cylindrical surface of this room. It looks to be about 30 foot in diameter.
Cool. Can I? It's not open.
It's not open currently, no.
Okay. Cool.
And you're at 10 foot away from it.
No worries. That's me for now.
That's your turn for now?
Yeah.
Cool. Shadow is on deck. It is once again going to use its shadow step so it can teleport as a bonus action up to 60 feet. That's in dim light, which is this whole town because of the darkness. And then it's going to attempt its attack against you again, Thrall, as it's chasing up behind you. That's a much worse roll than last time, though that's only going to be an 8 to hit you with the strength drain, so does not hit as we come to your turn, Thrall. Appleby on deck.
So Appleby ran 60 feet.
This thing is just teleported through the darkness back onto you again.
It's good to have my full speed back.
It's good to have your full speed back.
21.
Okay, you hear the gauntlet charge up again.
Nice.
As I turn to face and attack it.
Cool.
That's 24.
Nice.
Again.
It's going to be minus D4 again, but it's not going to matter for 21, which does still hit. As you still hear this stinging song go through your head. Appleby, again, you're still hearing this.
7 thunder damage.
7 more thunder damage. Nice.
And then I don't have any bonus action spells. Wait, is Magic Stone a bonus action?
Magic stone.
What's magic stone?
Make a stone magical.
Oh, right.
And then throw it at something. I think that's
It is a bonus.
generally the vibe.
Magic stone.
I think I took it.
I going to use Magic Stone on a pebble and attack the shadow.
Nice. As you were doing your initial run away, you scoop up a pebble from the ground and imbue it with your magic. Roll me another hit roll, please. I think that's how it works.
Yeah, and it will be a spellcasting ability on top, I assume. That's a 20 crit. That's a nat 20.
Nat 20, cool. Doesn't matter about the D4 then. So what's the damage of that?
It is 1d6 plus spellcasting.
Cool, so it'll be 6 plus all that.
Plus 5 plus 7. So that is 18 damage in total. 18 bludgeoning.
18 damage in total.
How did my pebble that I picked up just do more damage than my fucking
You
thunder gauntlet?
you punch it with the fist. Not much happens here. You see, as it just sort of goes straight through it. But this pebble, imbued with some you thinking on your feet, imbue it with a bit of sunlight, and this seems to do the trick as it crits through this creature, dealing a nasty amount of damage to it. So that will be. It is now bloodied as you see, much like the other shadows, its form begin to gloop off of it as it begins to be slowed by its decoalescing form.
Sweet.
Yep, that's my go.
That's Thrall. Back up to Appleby. Shadow on deck.
Get ready, Shadow.
Not the Shadow from this campaign, who you can see in the Ellseworld.
Hit the Ellseworld.
Hit the Ellseworld button.
Smash the Ellseworld.
Every time you hit the Ellseworld button, we order a new webcam from Amazon.
Oh, is it not Shadow the Hedgehog?
No. It's the hedgehog.
Every time you hit the Shadow the Hedgehog button.
a Christmas fairy dies. Anyway, what are you doing with your turn?
I'm running up to the door.
You're running up to the door? Nice.
I'm trying the door.
Cool. You try the door?
Yeah.
It's open. It's a stone door built into a stone tower, so it just kind of crumbles. No, it doesn't crumble. What the fuck? It drags across the floor, creating a nasty kind of cracking sound as you push it open, and you see.
Can I press the chase and that sound away? Am I able to do that? Prestidigitation do that?
What kind of action is it? Really love that you're just leaving Joe to fight this thing.
I mean, in character, it makes sense.
It does. I genuinely mean I love that he's just doing this.
It's terrifying.
Would you like to see the Greater Shadow?
Oh,
There's
Oh,
the Greater
shit.
Shadow, everyone. It's great and shadowy.
Greater
It does just
Shadow.
really look like a big shadow.
Yeah, it looks like a
the
blob
cam.
there.
Yeah.
it doesn't really.
There's a
explicitly
greater
say,
shadow.
but it's an action. So like, I
Yeah,
expect.
I'd say you could prestidigitation it silently. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll silently open the door then. in
Cool,
that
you
case.
do. And the sight you're greeted with is pretty magnificent, actually. You see this very fancy temple before you, although it has certainly, you think, looked better, as you see opening up before you a very small entrance hall that then leads into a large 30-foot in diameter chamber that has this enormous chunk of moon rock sticking out of the floor that the altar has then been built up and around, so that the person delivering a sermon in this church is stood sort of at the same level as the moonstone that is sticking out of the ground here, not above it, but kind of on a podium, so their head height would be almost at the same height as the moonstone up on a dais that has been, as I say, built up and around the moonstone there. that is partially sticking out of the ground. You see it laying where it lies. And as you look around, you see how it got to be here. A vast relief is carved into the walls here, depicting in a tapestry style the history of this moonstone. You see depicted in this artwork the moon of Zadkia, one of the 4 moons of Ellseworld, being besieged by what appears to be a giant floating skull. A battle takes place between this skull and a dragon that is a bit unlike any other dragon you've seen. Rather than having scales, this dragon appears to have this almost like fur and mossy coat to it, this almost blue hue. And rather than the kind of traditional horns that you'd expect a dragon to have, it has one jutting out of the chin and another jutting out of its forehead, making its head into the shape of a crescent moon, as you see here a moonstone dragon depicted in this relief. And as you see, as the relief plays out around this circular church, you see this great battle upon the moon of Zadkia fought between the Moonstone dragon, seemingly aligned with Shah, and this giant skull that seems to have implications through the kind of relief that it was something that was brought forth by the followers of Shah. Eventually,
so the dragon's Shah as well.
The dragon is seemingly fighting on the side of Selune, and this large skull fighting on the side of Shah. You see, in the course of this battle, a great moonstone is thrown by the dragon at this giant skull. It hits the skull, and upon that ricochets and heads down towards Ellseworld, hitting this point, and the rest, as they say, is history, as the church was built around this moonstone that was fought over in this great battle between the followers of Selune and Shah in the eons past. You also see, standing in the center of this room, a large figure in dark armor, chased with this kind of like fine purple edges. You see he wears almost priestly kind of garments over this heavy, dark iron armor. You see these priest robes again are kind of all either purple or black in color. And he seems to be this figure is examining the moonstone. Luckily you made the door silent, as he doesn't seem to have heard you here as he is examining this moonstone. You also see to one side of the church a small group of people that seem to be tied up to one corner, as this large figure in this great suit of iron armor is examining this moonstone with this large helmet on their head, which is spiked at the top.
Okay. That's...
Sorry, that was a lot to introduce in the middle of combat, but yeah.
That's my turn. It's already done, so...
Cool. A bonus action?
You
also have 20 more feet of movement. And yeah, as I say, it's about 30 foot to get to the middle of this room.
I'm going to try and...
No, sorry, it's 15 foot to get to the middle of this room. It's 30 foot diameter. It's not a large church at all. You see that the seating is all in the round too, around this moonstone.
Okay. I'm going to try and put him to sleep.
You're going to try and put him to sleep?
Yeah, I'm going to cast sleep on him.
Nice.
The
big guy. Nice.
Oh wait, no, that's not a bonus action. So
it's not. It's a main action.
I'll have to do it next time.
Cool. So nothing with your bonus for now?
No.
Okay, cool. Then we jump again to the shadow. It's going to attempt to make its attack against you, seeing as you standing and fighting now. I'm either rolling really well or shit, because that's a 4 up to a 9, which misses on its attack. So yeah, it misses its turn. Thrall, you're up. Appleby on deck.
Glove charges up again. Once again, going for that attack.
Nice.
Fuck, that's not good. That is a 10.
That's a 10. That misses, unfortunately. The two of you just unable to strike a blow on the other, as while it has the speed of a shadow, you have the immutable form of your armor as it struggles to pass its form through that and drain your strength again. I'll
try and pick up another stone and cast Magic Stone.
Nice.
And that is Oh, that's one off. That's 26.
26 to hit. Minus D4 isn't going to matter again. So, yeah, hit him with the magic stone.
Magic stone, 1d6 plus. Oh, that's 6.
6 more
plus,
damage.
No, plus 13 damage.
13 more damage. Nice. This thing is not looking good now. As this second magic stone, once again, you imbue it with this sort of sunlight power as it cracks through it. Not quite as effective as the last one, but certainly still making a dent where your gauntlets could not. As we go back to the top, Appleby, you're up.
Cool. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to cast sleep on this guy.
Cool.
Is there anyone else within 20 feet of him, or is it just him?
Yes, the other prisoners to the side, but you could aim it in such a way that you weren't.
Cool.
Getting them
if
in.
I could do that.
Yep, cool.
Good. Right, 5d8 of sleep damage.
5d8 of sleep. So let me get his health up because I know that'll matter. Thought I put a bookmark in here, but apparently not. Oh, I did. It just fell over.
Is his health more than 18?
His health is more than 18.
He doesn't sleep. Nothing happens.
He doesn't sleep. Does he? What are the components of sleep?
Let's find out, shall we? Sleep.
Yeah,
SLEMP.
V, S, and M.
Okay, so you would have had to have made some noise to do that. We'll see if he notices you. Just give me a standard stealth check.
Okay.
Be nice.
18.
18?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, he doesn't hear you as he's continuing to examine the Moonstone. This figure apparently seemingly quite rigorous in their examination here.
As you sit in the door.
Do you actually watch them here for your round here? You see as they are channeling actually some kind of their own power into this stone. As you see them pour some of this dark purple energy into the stone, this light shoots up through the stone, up through the cylinder of the church, out through the glass roof, and you can see even from in here that the outside world begins to get a little bit gloomier and a bit darker.
Oh, jeez.
Anything else with your turn?
I'll turn back to the door.
Yep.
And sort of try and get the attention of Thrall. And wave and sort of try to gesture with however much gesture I can without making too much noise. This stone's really fucking big, dude. I don't know what you think you're gonna do with this. It's pretty huge.
Okay, Thrall, you see over on the about 60 feet away from you over towards the church, Appleby just make gestures like his arms stretched really wide out, kind of like trying to give. Appleby, give me a performance check.
Can I roll insight?
Yeah.
My performance is 19.
Nice. That's a pretty good result.
I got a nat 20.
You got a nat 20. You perfectly grasp what Appleby is trying to convey here. Appleby, you do a pretty good job of conveying the fact that the stone is really big. You kind of like gesture about the guy with the spiky helmet, his priestly robes. I'll
Thrall, also do prisoners as well.
Thrall, you get a really good. You essentially know what's going on inside that room now without having been in there. You kind of really get the lowdown from Appleby's performance. They do a very good job of kind of acting this whole thing out.
And there's a painting with a dragon with two horns, like
yeah, you get the whole history and everything. While you're like fending off this shadow. As speaking of, we go to the shadow.
But the shadow might not go this turn.
We go to the shadow's turn.
I was hoping the shadow wouldn't do that.
As it's once again going to try and attack you. That one is going to be a hit. No crit this time, thankfully. Just going to deal you 6 more necrotic damage.
Oh, I'm not looking so good.
And your health will be reduced by 2 more points.
My health or my...
Sorry, your strength is reduced by 2 more points, not your health.
I'm looking
Reducing
weak as
your
fuck.
health would be better.
Yeah, it probably would be better to reduce your health. As this thing once again saps your strength, managing to finally gain some purchase. But you are up. It is your turn. Appleby, you are on the deck.
Let me just quickly check something. Because This could be really fucking important.
Importy. This could be fucking important.
Just
Applebeans.
um,
Whose team hashtag Applebeans?
okay, I think it's all right. Okay, I'm going to use my big fisty attack. I'm going to fist them with thunder.
Nice. Fist them. Fist away. You hear again this scream piercing.
16.
16 hits for now, but I'm going to roll the d4. This one could actually impact it. Yeah,
Inspire.
it does. I roll a 4 on this, which reduces it by 4 to 12, which misses.
Can I Bardic Inspire, or is it too late?
You can Bardically Inspire. That is certainly a great counter to this.
That's a 4.
That's a 4. Brilliant. You actually hear as the songs sort of merge here, and the song of Appleby actually outshines the song of this greater shadow. And you feel like this might be why your master sent you to get Appleby after all, as the song of the shadow is countered here by the bardic inspiration of Applebi Okewood as you power through and get through this thing's armor as you make your attack. Roll me some damage.
That's 9 damage.
9 damage? How do you finish this greater shadow off with the assistance of Appleby?
The last of my strength is just sapped, and just like as it's like the fist is coming down, you just hear the, and then it's just like as it goes, it doesn't like explode on impact. The fist kind of goes into the shadow, and then it just dissipates.
Cool. You hear the kind of like, as this thing dissipates, you hear the last few kind of little strings of the tune that Appleby played as he inspired you for that great hit. As the greater shadow disperses, both of your strength scores are returned to their natural value.
Oh, thank goodness.
I can probably stand up a bit straighter because the armor probably doesn't weigh as much now.
As this shadow is dissipated, you head over towards Appleby, who is standing at the doorway to this church, and you do indeed see the scene that he described before you, this figure doing some dark magic to this stone, and seemingly causing the cause of this great disrupt to the town of Stonefell. And as you reach the threshold here of the church, seeing this heavily armored combatant, the very weakened state of Appleby and yourself, you think this might be a good time to bring a bit more of a fighter to the team. You look towards Appleby and you almost feel the transpositioning stone in your pocket begin to buzz with the sensation that the time is now. And Appleby, you feel as Thrall's hand once again clasps on your shoulder. The runes begin to flick around you, forming on the floor as you are once again surrounded in the darkness. You can no longer see Thrall before you, implying that you're not teleporting together. You get a very brief glimpse of some bronze, maybe brass, scales as you pop back into the Undermountain, as you see your friends and one unfamiliar face around you. Kosef, you are joined by a new figure, a dragonborn individual. Not Kosef, sorry. That's a different character that I play with Joe. We just played D&D.
I am Kosef.
Thrall, you see Kosef there. It's really weird.
Yeah!
He's also got a big mechanical fist. You see there a dragonborn figure looking quite confused, standing before you as the form of Rodeo appears before Thrall, ready to fulfill the next part of the mission here. And that is also where we'll be closing the Tales from Ellseworld. Sweet. As you may have been able to tell from this, Jams won't unfortunately be there in the next Ellseworld session, but as you can tell, they will be there for the next Tales of Ellseworld. So, yeah, join us next time on the Tales of Elseworld. It'll be, I don't know when it will be because Christmas is sort of coming up, and I don't even know when the next Elseworld session will be after the one on this Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
But the next Tales from Elseworld will hopefully be before that session, where we'll continue this story and Rodeo's story, and then you can figure out what the hell happens to Thrall and the Temple of Stonefell.
Spoilers, we all die.
Spoilers, we all die. Well, Appleby didn't die, so maybe Thrall and Rodeo will, but Appleby didn't die. In any case, we'll leave the session there for now, as I said. But thank you very much to my players. Thank you to Tom and to Ferrets for joining me. It's lovely
for running.
It's a pleasure as always. I love running stuff in Elseworld. And if you want to see more Elseworld, as I've discussed many a time,
Sunday.
yeah, Sunday. This Sunday, probably about this same time, 7:30-ish, we'll be going live with Elseworld, the full campaign. There's going to be basically a superhero battle, so you probably don't want to miss that if you like battles and superheroes and D&D. Imagine if some cool fantasy spins on weird superhero ideas were played out. Wouldn't that be cool? I think so. That's why I made it and put it in my world. Anyway, that's enough of a tease about that. You can see that all on Sunday, where there'll also be a full recap of Elseworld, so you can get up to date with that. But yeah, apart from all that, we'll return to this at some point soon. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Got a couple of little plugs here at the end. I'll just blast through them super quickly. Dungeoneers Pack. It's our D&D resource page. It's on Instagram. It's in our links down below.
Yeah.
Dungeoneers Cellar. We sell the artwork from our campaigns and from Dungeoneers Pack there.
Yeah.
Our Patreon. You can support us there. You can give advantages, disadvantages, stuff like that. Jams Can Draw Sketch will be given to you for signing up to the Patreon too, which is a fantastic reward.
Yeah.
Worth more than the £5 that you would spend is, really.
Absolutely.
That's cheaper than I think any of their commissions are. So yeah, totally worth it. And you get all the other benefits too.
Yeah.
There's Ferrets is a lovely person who streams sometimes. We're probably going to be doing some Dark Tide streams soon, and they'll probably be hopefully involved with that as well. Obviously, D&D Sundays, we've got a bit of a weird schedule coming up because it's December and we're in England, so Christmas happens here.
Weirdest month.
Christmas happens to us, whether you support it or not. Christmas happens. So yeah, that's going to be happening.
I do not support Christmas happening to Heroes Grove.
Yeah, people will be coming and going. So yeah, weird schedule. If you want to, sorry,
something.
I was just gonna say, can I plug my I have a form for people to sign to ban Christmas for
for Heroes Grove.
Just for Heroes Grove. Yeah, if we get it to 100,000, the government have to discuss it as well. Yeah. So we want to get those numbers up. Why are they? Yes, okay. They don't get Christmas. I don't know why Boris Johnson's back. Cursed future. But yeah, if you want to see more of Cursed Future Boris Johnson and Heroes Grove, join us on Sunday. We'll be streaming some Elseworld. Yeah, stay up to date with our Discord. That's where you'll find out what's happening with Weird Christmas. Thank you very much. That was a horrible outro.
Listen to Wildcat Boozy.
Listen to Wildcat Boozy. If you're in Bristol tomorrow night, you can catch him at the Rough Trade. At the Rough Trade. I nearly said the Fleece, but it's not there. Don't go to the Fleece. Go to Rough Trade tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe someday.
Yeah. See you soon, everyone. Thanks for take a long rest at the Grove. Stay Grovey. It's the Grove time.
It's Grove time.
It's getting Grovey.